Welcome back to Hong Kong. In 2012, at the time portrayed as a clone of GTA 4 and Saints Row III, Sleeping Dogs was way ahead of time. As of now, after 12 years, I can say that it is one of the most underrated games of all time, and after playing it even today, I can assure you it is one of the greatest open world games of all time. I have played most of the big ones, and this one has everything I could ever ask for in the genre. It is well balanced and polished in all aspects. The story follows as the main character, a cop named Wei Shen, successfully infiltrates the Triads in order to bring them down from inside. Wei Shen is trained in Kung Fu and doesn't always agree with the police protocol. He's a loose cannon with nothing to lose and is roped into the seedy underbelly of Hong Kong. Expect a lot of beatdowns, chase of all kinds, and crushing out your handler who just doesn't understand the pressure you're under. A lot of people compare this to GTA games, but I personally don't see it. I feel it's closer in tone and gameplay to Yakuza games, though with a lot more shooting and less mini-games. Now, I have played the game in the initial phase of 2013. I had a low-end PC, probably a GT 610 or something, and it ran very well. Because at the time it wasn't much into graphics or mechanics, all I wanted is the game should run and I could finish the story. The game knows exactly what it is and what you want and delivers on it expertly. The story on paper is nothing special. You can probably guess every single plot point and story beat within the first hour. That doesn't mean that it's bad at all. The game is dripping with styles and the atmosphere is top-notch. Everything is executed wonderfully. The voice acting is some of the best in the open world genre.
Winston, are you sure about this?
Of course, I'm fucking sure!
Every characterization is handled appropriately and each character has enough room to breathe and grow. The acting and the animation really do carry out the story, but isn't a bad thing at all. The game at times has an urgency to it that most others wish they would achieve as the stakes grow higher and higher and higher. Everything starts dissolving into chaos. Shen loses sight on the big picture multiple times, and the voice actor for him really sells that. Over time, this is no longer just a job, but it's personal.
Siwa, you're coming with me.
Fuck you! You're not taking me alive!
As of now playing the game, it is not the old version, as currently it is not present in Steam, and the version right now is a definitive edition, so they have enhanced a bit of graphics, little bit, and probably few more DLCs added, with mechanics improved. Best thing about the game, and this is my personal opinion, is the combat. Sleeping Dogs does many of the things its top echelon competition in the genre already done pretty well, but where the game really shines is in the handful things it does decidedly better. Hand-to-hand combat, for instance, is a button mashy and simple, almost like an Arkham City-like, but works really well and make Grand Theft Auto 4 looks sober and accurate by comparison. The way how Kung Fu moves have been blended into the game and you can use different objects from the environment in order to give damage to the enemy is perfectly clean. No matter the other elements are good or bad in the game or decent, but the hand-in-hand combat with the weapons in Sleeping Dogs is the best comparing to any open world games. The combat feels fluent as well as looks fun, but unfortunately falls repetitive late into the game. This is not a very bad thing though. The main focus of the game is not the gameplay but the story. And I will say that this game has a fantastic and touching story, although I feel it could execute better in some parts of the game, and I do not want to mention to not spoil anyone. When I first played the game, it actually felt like I'm exactly in Hong Kong. The environment has so much to offer and feels so alive, like you can see people doing different things around the world, and even during missions you can see how others see the situation, and even if you're just roaming around, it's really feel like you're in Hong Kong and not just some empty bland city. You will have to see it by yourself if you still haven't played this. It's very sad that even after 12 years of the game release, no one makes games like this. I really don't understand what reason companies don't consider making games with this kind of combat plus mechanics, knowing that it will bring a lot of money to them as players are waiting for a sequel of Sleeping Dogs, or if not a game with the same genre, and using today's tech, combat can improve a lot, improve graphics and mechanics. Additionally, other than the combat, the second best thing about the game is the parkour. There's a sequence at the starting of the game where you need to run and chase a character called Naz, and the way you go through the obstacles in front with all Wei Shen's partner skills, that too in the initial phase of the game, itself says that the game has potential. Though as it says that not everything is perfect, the game did have some flaws. Firstly, in the initial release, there were bugs and glitches throughout the game. But it wasn't for a long period of time as devs fixed them after a couple of updates and patches. Moreover, the world is not that big. It is a small map. Probably the devs considered making other elements better rather than having a massive map like Just Cause or GTA. Majority of the players does talk about the story, as it ain't that interesting. So we can ignore it if you're more into combat and exploring all around. When I played it for the very first time, I didn't expect anything from the game, as I didn't knew much. I just wanted to finish the story. So that time when I played the game, I didn't complain much about the story, as it was decent, and moreover, my entire focus shifted to combat, so the story didn't bother too much to me after that. One more thing which I feel is a little bad, considering the DLCs released, they were very very small. Like, I completed it hardly like in 2 hours. And probably the devs could have considered making the DLCs a little bit longer. 5 hours of playtime is decent for a game like this. All in one, Sleeping Dogs did things that wowed me from the moment I started playing it, and it never really stopped. A few finicky issues aside, Sleeping Dogs has proven itself worthy to join the top class of open world sandbox games, revolutionized by likes of Grand Theft Auto 4 and currently topped with more recent editions like Saints Row the Third. But don't be confused, Sleeping Dogs does something better than even the cream of the crop, and every element will keep you focused on playing the game. The fact that the game happens to be played so well is simply icing on the cake. Do put down in the comment section that will you play Sleeping Dogs 2 if it came out in the future.